we're going to add another drop-down list over here in this field set. So if we go back up in the first field set, and we're going to do this after the email section. So let's go ahead and add the row so that we have the div we expected. And then inside there, we'll put another select. And we're going to start, this will be the same to start with, and then we'll add a couple of things that are different. This is info source, src, for the name, and that'll be the field name. And then ID is info. And that will be our select. And we're going to have 5 options on this one. So we'll just create one option and then we can copy paste. So the value on the first one is internet. And the word between the opening and closing tag is internet as well. Okay, and we need 5 of these. I'm going to copy them and paste them. And then I want to change the value and the word that's between the option tags. Magazine on the second one, and mag for the value. News on the third one, and newspaper. And the fourth one is word for the value, and word of mouth for the text between them. And the fourth one is other, and the word between is other as well. Okay, that's that. And let's go ahead and add the label. We know we're going to need that. So the label on this one has something interesting. We still want to do the for attribute and have it connect to the select statement, and that's the info ID. And then for the label, we want to put, where did you hear about us? And then we want to add a parentheses that says select all that apply, right? But we want it to be on the next line. And so to get it on the next line, we're going to use a break tag, and that's just a BR. And now you can add, this is an empty tag, and you can add a slash or not. It works either way. And then after that, we can put in parentheses, select all that apply. And we're going to want to let them have the option to do as many as they want. Okay. And my editor replaced some of that, moved some of it so it stays within that 80 character limit for the line length. All right, so there we've got our label and our select statement. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. And there it is. That's kind of what we expected there and how that works. And notice over here we got that break tag that says select all that apply. Now we want to do a couple of things differently. We want to say, instead of having these all be in the drop-down, we want to say how many we want to display. And you can do that in this opening select tag. Then you can add a value, a size attribute. And this says how many of these will be visible when you first load the page. So when it's just sitting there, how many are visible? Remember, right now there's only 1. And so that's the default. But now we're going to say 5. So as soon as we say 5 and we refresh, it shows all 5 of them right there. So that's how many are visible. If we decided to if we put 3 there, then 3 of them would be visible. And it would show 3 of them, and we could still have the option to get all of them in there. But notice now that we have the scroll option to be able to see them all. We can only see 3 at a time now. And by default, if you don't say anything, you'll get to see 1 at a time. All right, but we want 5, so make that 5. And the other thing we want to do is make it so that they can select more than 1. So right now, if we refresh, we get our 5 back, and we can only select 1 at a time. Even if I use the Shift key, I still only get 1. Even if I use the Control or Command key, I only get 1. So the way that we can allow that to be multiple selects is you use the multiple attribute. Now notice how this attribute is just a word, and it doesn't have to, you don't have to say multiple equals multiple. You just use multiple itself all by itself. It doesn't have an equal sign and doesn't have a value. The value is multiple itself. So we add that and we refresh. And now if I use the shift key, I can get a selection and I can choose 3. And if I go back, if I just click, I get 1. If I use the command or control key, I can select them and they don't have to be adjacent to each other. So you can select whatever you want. This way you get to have multiple values. Now, when it sends that, if there's multiple values allowed, it will send a name value pair for each of them, right? The name is the name of the field and the value, and it will, so if they select 3, it will send 3 name value pairs, and the name will be the same on all 3, but the values will be different. So you want to make sure that your server code can handle that before you add that multiple, because it sends it a little bit different. So you'll want to be sure it can handle it. And that way you can specify how big you want those to be and how many display and how many if they can select multiple options and not, or just one. Over here, they can just select one, no matter how they do it. Over here, where we've said multiple, you can choose more than one.